Hello everybody, in this session, let's have a quick look at it. Anatomy is the structural part of the body, physiology is the functional part of the body. Physical education is the sum, it's an aggregate of a man's physical activities. Your psychology, how do you balance different things? How do your mind perceives different things? Back in the days, 50 years back or 60 years back, sports was not paid much attention, or any physical fitness activities was not paid much attention. Hello everybody, my name is Rohit. I take physical education on behalf of PrepSchool by Vidhyaashram. In today's session or in today's class, we'll study about changing trends in physical education. Now, this chapter is divided into two different sessions. In each session, we will cover three topics. What all topics or whatever sessions we are going to cover today in this session, let's have a quick look at it. First, we'll start off with the meaning and definition of physical education. After that, we'll study about different aims and objectives of physical education. Then finally, we will conclude the chapter with changing trends in physical education. So, let's start off with our first one, that is the meaning of physical education. So, what exactly is physical education? What do you mean by that? Physical education is an integrated study of mental, physical and spiritual well-being. What is it? Physical education is an integrated study. It's a study of the mental, physical and spiritual well-being. So when we talk about mental, we are talking about again psychological aspects of us, and then when we talk about physical, we are talking about physiological and anatomical part. I need not explain much what is physiology and anatomy because we already studied this in again sports and anatomy chapter, right? Anatomy is the structural part of the body, physiology is the functional part of the body. So that aspect of our health comes under the physical part or physical element in the meaning of physical education. And then finally, spiritual well-being is the aura that you carry, the personality, the positivity, the optimism that you carry with you. That is again called as the spiritual well-being of you. Okay, so physical education is what? Physical education is an integrated study. It's a study of mental, physical and spiritual well-being. Hoping you understood the meaning of physical education. Now let's get into one of the definition of physical education given by one of the great scholars whose name is again Albert Toffer. Okay, what did he say? What did he mean? According to him, what is physical education? According to him, physical education is the sum of man's physical activities selected as to kind and conducted as to outcomes. Once again, I will repeat, according to Albert Toffer, what is physical education? Physical education is the sum, it's an aggregate of a man's physical activities, whatever physical activities that person does, selected as to kind and conducted as to outcomes of it. Okay, so this is one of the definition given by one of the great scholars. Again, his name is what? Albert Toffer. Okay, so remember always one thing, I have always said one thing about definitions. Definitions is not equal to what do you mean by a particular topic. Whenever in the exam you get what do you mean by X, Y, Z, or what do you mean by a particular thing, you can write what you mean by that. Okay, whatever concept you understood about that, you can write it in your own words. But when somebody gives you or tells you or asks you how do you define a particular thing, in this instance, how do you define physical education? You can again, you must always mention a wording or the definition given by a particular scholar. In this instance, who is that scholar? Albert Toffer. Okay, according to Albert Toffer, in his wordings, how he has defined physical education, that you have to mention. Okay, that's why they always put it in double inverted comma. Whenever you see a definition, it is always in double inverted comma because that is how that person or that scholar has stated or coined that particular term. In this instance, again, what is the term we are talking about? We are talking about physical education. Okay, now let's move on to our next section. What is it? Again, if you remember from the chapter overview, it is aims and objectives of physical education. What is it? aims and objectives of physical education. What all are the aims and objectives of physical education? Why do we practice that? Let's have a quick look at it. First, the physical development. The physical development, again, like I said, what all things includes in physics? Again, what is it? Your anatomy and your, what is it? I'll give you a second. What is it? Your anatomy and your physiology. Anatomy is the structural part of your body and physiology is your functional part of your body. So again, physical development includes the development of that. Next, you have mental development. Your psychology. How do you balance different things? How do your mind perceives different things? How do you balance? How do your mind again balances and interprets and translates and communicates between different muscular part of your body, and how does it handles everything? The brain, the mind is the CPU of our body. Just like computer has CPU, our human body has mind. So mental development is the development of your IQ, your aptitude, your problem solving skills. Again, all those kind of things falls under your mental development. So practicing physical education helps you with development of that, and that is one of the objectives why people have introduced this into this world. Okay, moving on to next, we have social developments. We all have friends, we all have families. Maintaining the relationship with them, maintaining a good positive vibe and relationship and balance with them is very important. And many people struggle to do that by practicing physical activity and by learning physical education and implementing that in your life. It helps you to balance that. So again, social development is what? Social development is balancing of your social circle, your friends, your colleagues, your family, all that. Okay, hoping you understood. Let's move on to the next point. What is the next benefit or aims or objective of physical education? Your neuromuscular coordination develops. What is neuromuscular coordination? Physiology. We are talking about physiology of the body here. Neuromuscular coordination. Neuro means nervous system. Muscular means different muscular part of your body. How does it communicate? The balance of that, your reflex, right? All those things comes under the neuromuscular part of your body. The neuromuscular part, again, if I want to pick up a pen, if I want to drive a bike, if I want to go somewhere, if I want to walk to some place, my brain sends that signal to my leg or to my hand to do that particular activity. That's the time when it does it. Okay, your reflexes. For example, there is a hot cup of coffee kept on your table. You, without any conscious, you suddenly touch that and you feel hot. Suddenly you remove your hand from that, right? Why does it happen? Why does it happen? Because when you touch that hot cup, the neuromuscular cells, or for example the motor nerves, sends that signal to your brain that okay, this object is hot, you need to remove your hand in order to protect your hand from getting it burned. That time your reflex says to remove your hand, and you, on the flick of your hand, you remove it, right? So that's the neuromuscular coordination. If your neuromuscular coordination is not well balanced, you will not be able to walk properly, you will not be able to do many things, because end of the day, the locomotivity or the mobility of your body is totally dependent on the neuromuscular part of, again, your physiology. Okay, now moving on to the next aim or objective of physical education, emotional development. Like I said, the mental balance, the emotional balance. Okay, now you may get confused for one thing. The one confusion that may occur in your brain is, what is mental development and what is emotional development? Everything is happening in the brain. Then why two different points are mentioned? Mental is more on the processing part of your brain. Emotional is more, again, different kind of emotions you feel. Whatever, how sharp you are, what is your IQ, your problem solving skills, how sharp you are, all those things comes under a mental part. How happy you feel, how stressed you feel, how pressurized you feel, all those things are under your emotional development. I just wanted to make it clear so that you don't get any confusion. That's why the same thing is department is repeated 2 times. Body is divided into, again, health is divided into 3 different sections: spiritual fitness, mental fitness and physical fitness. Then why the fourth thing, the mental fitness, is again divided into emotional fitness or emotional development? I just wanted to make it clear. That's why I'm explaining. Emotional is again what? Stress, again your happiness, your enjoyment, your joy, everything, the balance of that will be your emotional development. Mental is what? Mental development is your, again, aptitude skills, your problem solving skills, your IQ and all that will be under that. After that, last but not the least, there is development of health. Okay, development of health. That particular point concludes the rest of the points that you studied right now. What is it? Development of your health. Health is, again, we studied that. What is health? According to World Health Organization, a person is healthy when that person is mentally, physically and psychologically fit. Okay, so if you're mentally, physically and psychologically fit, then only you will be considered as a healthy person. Just because if you're going to gym, just because if you're practicing sports and your body is very fit, doesn't make you a healthy person. Okay, you might be psychologically sick, who knows, right? So every aspect of health, every sub element of health, that is your physique, your mentality, again your, what is it, psychology, all these things has to be equally important. Then only your health, you will be considered as a healthy person. So development of health includes all these other sections. What are all those other sections? I will repeat. Physical development, then you have mental development, after that you have social development, and then you have neuromuscular coordination, then you have emotional development. So all these elements will fall under the development of your health. So that is the objective of physical education. So why physical education we have to study? Why physical education is important? What is the significance of physical education? All that you learn now. Okay? Now, let's get into the literal point or literal subtopic of the chapter, which itself is the replication of the title name itself. So what is your title? What is the chapter title? Changing Trends in Physical Education. So let's see what all changing trends in physical education do we have. Okay, so moving on to the changing trends in physical education. First, we have increase in importance of physical education. Increase in importance or significance of physical education. People are realizing the importance of it, right? Why physical education is important. Back in the days, 50 years back or 60 years back, sports was not paid much attention, or any physical fitness activities was not paid much attention. It was not considered that important, because back in the days people did not used to have much problems, because the lifestyle used to be healthy, no much processed food or no much artificial consumptions were there back in the days. Nature was all good, the world was more green than it is now. Okay, so that time people were not that much unhealthy. Because they were not unhealthy, again the importance of physical education kind of faded behind everything. Okay, because practicing of physical activity or much of the physical sports was not necessary to keep your body healthy, because naturally you would be healthy, because the food that you eat, the nutrients that you consume will not be processed, it would be organic and natural. But today, that's not the case. Today, people are consuming, again, packed or frozen food. People are consuming processed food more than the organic, and even the vegetables and everything that you buy from the market are processed and are again implemented or grown with many chemical things. Okay, many chemical elements. So that's why people are getting many kind of problems, psychological problems, physiological problems, all sort of problems are coming into place. And finally, because of that, people's focus are finally coming into physical education, and they are realizing the importance of that, and they are understanding how important physical education is. Okay, so that's our first point. Second is the awareness of physical and mental fitness. Now, like I said, because these problems are coming, people are finally realizing, okay, doing the work, enjoying life is a separate part. But to stay fit, to achieve your dreams, you need to stay fit, right? Living your life or staying alive is first important. If you stay alive, if you be fit, then only you can achieve your dreams. If you're not fit enough, if you're not healthy enough, then you will not be able to acquire or achieve any kind of things that you want in your life. Any kind of dream that you want to achieve in your life will not be acquired if you are not mentally and physically fit. So awareness of physical fitness and mental fitness also came to place because of physical education. That is one more changing trends that is present in the current era. Moving on to next, we have implementation of physical activities in multiple institutions. Because like they say, youth is the future, right? Youth is the future. Now, since the adults in the country and in the world are realizing the problems with mental health and physical health that they face at the later part of their stage, they are trying to implement, they are trying not to do the same mistakes with the next generation. So they are implementing again different kind of physical activities and physical education in the school so that the coming generation doesn't face any kind of problem because they are practicing physical education and different sports. Okay, so the current adult generation are facing many kind of mental and physical problems because they did not practice any kind of physical activities or sports back in the days, and finally because of the passive lifestyle and consumption of many artificial things, they are facing a lot of problem. So that their kids don't face that problem or the next generation don't face that problem, physical education is finally being implemented in many schools, universities and educational institutions to protect the next generation from the problems, the health problems that are being faced in today's generation. Okay, now moving on to next, the new health conscious world. Exactly what I was talking about now, the new health conscious world. Everybody is segregating their work time separately. They are keeping a certain set of hours to practice or work out in the gym because they now physical fitness is a part of their routine, right? Before completing your homework, completing your assignments, getting a proper sleep, right, eating a proper food at time, that was your routine. Now physical fitness or going to gym or practicing yoga or doing the dance sessions to improve different kind of physical capabilities has become the part of your general routine. Now it has become a general part of the routine because the world has become what? Health conscious. This is the new health conscious world. This is the new health conscious society and circle. Everybody, if you go out early in the morning for a walk, you will see 1,000 people jogging, many people walking, many people doing many kind of physical activities to maintain their health. So what we are looking at, what we are living or where we are living right now is a fitness conscious world, and everybody needs to get adapted to that to survive this toxic world where toxic processed food and toxic things are there in the environment and the air you breathe. Okay, now moving on to next, new changing government policies favoring sports persons. Okay, now different changing policies. Back in the days, like I said, importance of sports was not much there. Players were not given much again importance. Now what is the status of Indian cricket team? What is the status of different national teams? They are celebrities now. They are considered as very high status people in the society because sports is being considered now a major mainstream event. Unlike back in the days people used to say, oh, that person is in sports, this person is in sports. It's not a major deal, it's not a big deal. But now people are taking it seriously. People are taking yoga, physical activities, sports or any kind of physical education activity seriously because that is the future. That is what will make you fit, will keep you fit and will help you to lead your dream towards a better place. Okay, now moving on to the next one, the funding for new sports and its international representation has also increased. For example, NBA, right? NBA, Basketball Association, was not existing in India before. People who used to play basketball in India did not get much support from the government also. But now in today's era or back in few years, NBA started their work with the Indian team players and now they are finally expanding it across the globe. Okay, so that means India has also kept their step forward to implement that international sport. It's not that they came and it just happened. These kind of things are inter-country things, right? Inter-country relations and inter-country agreements has to be there. If NBA has come to India and settled their workstations and training programs, that means Indian governments also would have had approvals and Indian government would have also supported this. That means, what does that mean? That means the government also is finally realizing the importance of physical education, sports, and finally different sports which did not even exist in our country or did not even used to get practiced in our country are finally being implemented. So there is a future for basketball, there is a future for tennis, there is a future for football, and all sports in the meanwhile in the coming time will have a future in our country. exactly like that in all other countries also, because finally people are realizing the importance of that. Okay, so that is our final statement or final changing trend in the current session, right? What is it? Funding for new sports and its international representation. Now, hoping you understood whatever I taught today. This is me, Rohit, signing out once again. I will see you until next time, and in the next time we will study about the second session of this chapter that will again have another 3 topics. I hope you understood whatever we studied today. Before I just walk off, before I just log off, I want to finally again give a recap of whatever I taught. Whatever I taught you today, just remind, what is it? Aims, right? What is it that we studied? We studied first the meaning of physical education. Then we studied the definition of physical education. Then we studied about the aims and objectives of physical education. And finally, we concluded the topic with changing trends in physical education. I hope you understood everything today. This is me, once again, Rohit, signing out until next time. I'll see you in the next session. Goodbye.